Hi, my name is Nancy Bloom. I'm 48 years old and I currently live in BC. I'm a traumatic brain injury survivor. Bit of my pre-accident history, where I come from and things like that. I'm originally from Newfoundland. I was born and raised there, actually a town called Valleyfield, and I grew up there, and I moved here to BC 9 years ago soon. It'll be 9 years ago. So most of my time back in Newfoundland, I worked in a town called Gander. Most people would know, I think. And I was the manager of a home care service for central Newfoundland. And I took care of dealing with 40-ish clients / 40-ish workers, hiring and putting them through the things necessary for their job. And I did that for over 13 years. Some of the reasons I moved to BC was a new start in life. So I started by moving to a part of BC, and then I went to college and then university, and I studied the field of social work. And I've done that for quite some time and have enjoyed that area of life. What kind of work I did was, my last professional job was an employment consultant for Work BC. Prior to the accident, I thought my life would continue to increase when it comes to education. I was accepted to go to university to get my bachelor's. But I don't see that forthcoming right now. I was accepted. I had done all the paperwork and I was accepted. So that was my next goal, to continue my education and receive my bachelor's of social work. How did I do in school? I actually surprised myself. I graduated every year with honors, and that was a big surprise to me, because coming from a little town in Newfoundland, that wasn't something I thought I could do, but I did. So the day leading up to the accident was wonderful. We had a beautiful day, my husband Ray and I. We went to, what's it called? Oh, Farewell Canyon on our bikes, and we did a nice long ride and had a really great day. We ate lunch sitting on a field, and we had pictures taken and everything. It was beautiful, sunny. So I was a rider with quite a lot actually of experience. I started riding since moving to BC, and I moved up from bike to bike to bike to bike and learned how to ride really well. But my instructor was really great, my husband. So my memories of the accident are pretty nil, if that makes sense. I don't really have any memory. Don't remember actually leaving the canyon to come back home. And from what I understand, it was some time after we left that it happened. So I don't remember anything. So I'll tell you what happened to me so everyone is not lost and confused like I feel most of the time. So I was riding my dual sport motorcycle myself, and my husband was riding his dual sport motorcycle. And for some reason, a deer wanted to come out and say hi, and it come out and I hit it. So I T-boned a deer on my motorcycle. And that's all I can tell you because I don't remember T-boning the deer or anything that happened after that. So I can tell you a few things about some of the injuries I had. I suffered two brain bleeds actually, one here and one here. I also had a stroke, I don't know, I think I was told 3 or 4 months after my accident. And I had suffered a broken knee, which is very challenging even today. I broke this part of my face, I'm not even sure what it's called. And I had lots of things, even bruises everywhere, all up and down my legs. My nose even has incisions that it's small to see, but my arms, bruises and torn skin. And even my legs feel very weird to scratch right now. So I've endured a lot of pain. But as I said, I'm still pushing through it. What are my memories from the following days after the accident? I remember I was in a wheelchair. I remember my husband was with me and giving me water all the time. And I remember being loved. That's about it. I don't remember much. I remember one night though, I was in bed and my husband Ray, his name is, he tucked me in my feet, put on warm socks and tucked me in my bed and gave me a kiss and cuddled me down. I remember that night, but I think that happened every night, I just don't remember. So there's some things for me that I still recall a little. So there was a point that I became aware of my situation and I started, I guess, to come out of the fogginess that I was in, although still very foggy. And that was at our kitchen table. And I remember saying and looking around and saying, babe, what happened? What's going on? What's going on? And looking at myself because I looked different and I didn't feel well and I had bruises and bandaged or blood and I don't know. Anyway, that's one of the things that was kind of strange to me when I said, what's going on? What happened? What's happening? And I think the roundabout when that happened must have been about, 3-4 months into things after it happened. A long time actually, before I realized, before my brain, I guess, because I've had a traumatic brain injury, before my brain realized that has happened, something has happened to me. So the days and the first early months of the accident were quite stressful and challenging because, well, we didn't have anyone at our home for assistance, so my husband was doing everything and running around like just so much on his plate, and I was very stressed because I was always the provider at home to cook and clean and everything, bills and stuff, pay bills. So it was very distressing for myself because I couldn't do things I always used to do. And it was hard for me physically because I was using a walker in the house, and just to go and pee, my husband had to take me to the washroom and be near me, afraid I'd fall, because of the physical aspects of the accident. So my mobility progression from when this all happened, I was bedridden for a time. I don't know how long, because my memory doesn't tell me. And then I was in a walker, and then I used a cane for a very much longer time. And I saw a special person, a vestibular person, who helped me, and then I was able to get rid of my cane. So now I walk without a cane, but I do have a bit of a wonky walk, but I'm okay. I still have many challenges with balance, and I haven't had a fall, thank God for that, but I always am very cautious and aware of my, things, my surrounding. It's things that are around me, my surroundings. So I have challenges daily, weekly, and monthly. So for daily, for example, if today is my shower day, which nowadays I go every other day, today is my shower day. The next day I prepare food for 2 days if I can. And I just kind of alternate because I don't have enough energy to do all the things in one day like most people do. Like jump up and have your shower and prepare your food and go to work, and I just don't have it. I can't do it. There are things that I would like to do that are challenging for me. I am able to do some things now that I couldn't do before, which is managing to cook some food and eventually get some dishes done from that, but not always, or not always at the same time. But I can't do a lot of my own housekeeping anymore, which is a strain because I was very particular about my home. I spend a lot of time relaxing in my chair, and everything is challenging. Even to try to do a little bit of an exercise is hard for me. I do an exercise a little bit one day of some sort, just moving my legs. And the next day I'm too tired to get off the couch. So, all these things can bring you down, although at times people think I'm a very upbeat person. It's because I'm a positive thinker and I try to be as good as I can be. So that's one scenario of my days. And in a week, if I can manage to, do these things, I'm happy, and it brings me joy to look after the little things, because there's a lot of things that I can't look after, like cleaning my home, and I can't clean my floors or my bathroom, or things like that, because I get wonky when my head goes down. I get very sick stomach, even though my balance and dizziness is a little better. It's surely not perfect. Far from it. So, and in a month, well, I don't know, I can't think that far ahead. I try to think about tomorrow or tonight, really, and see if I'm, can we watch a movie later? I don't know, by 10:30, I need to go to bed because I'm too tired to stay up. So, even though I get good sleep and it's restful, it doesn't increase my energy because I don't really have a lot of that. Some of my biggest challenges, I don't even know how to begin. If I'm tired more so than usual, which is, I'm always tired these days, so sometimes I'm even more tired than my nowadays normal tired. I have trouble showering, doing the lady things like shaving your legs. I don't always get to do those things properly. It's hard for me to do the little things that one time were easy. Just getting my socks on are a major issue for me because of my legs and how they feel and hurt. But I do it. I push myself all the time for everything that I do. But if we don't push ourselves, we'll never achieve any of our goals, will we? No. So nowadays my communication and social life has changed. What's the word? Big time. That's not the word I want to say. But yeah, it's changed a lot. I find it really hard to talk to people without getting confused. I find it challenging to understand what's being told to me, and I try to tell people to kind of keep it simple, but they don't seem to get that either. So it's probably the way I said it, because it's always me, which is hard, but I know it is. But I find one of the hardest things for me is acceptance. Accepting all the things that have been told to me. All the things that now I need to do it this way. Like, Nancy, you need to go here. Nancy, you have to do this, So I've had to accept the fact that I am the way I am. So that's a challenge too. So if you put me in a group of people in a crowded area, depending on the area, at one time I couldn't do even for 5 minutes. But nowadays, if it's not loud, I can manage for a short time. But after half an hour or so, depending on the noise level, I'm ready to go. I feel a little overwhelmed with groups of people. It's too much chatter even when it's quiet, and I get confused easily. So going into new places and familiarity, you know the word, what I'm saying, for me can be a little bit challenging because I can get lost, and sometimes I become so fuzzled and confused that I'm not sure where I am. So that can be quite taxing too, because, you know, how do you go where you need to go when you don't know where you are already? So that's been another challenge for me. So the things that I was most thankful and appreciative for with the days around my accident would have to be the support that I've received. Now, for some people, they have lots of supports, but for me it was mainly one for a very long time, and that's my husband, Ray. It took a long time before I even had any help in my home. So I'm thankful for Ray for all that he's done for me and continues to do for me. Other challenges that I have, one of many is just trying to be me, just trying to accept me as I am. Just trying to make it through life and realize that happiness comes from other places with me now. That, you know, even though I can't ride my motorcycle, I can't drive a car, I can't go for a jog, or I can't do a lot of things, I'm okay, and I'm happy. I just find it challenging not to have the necessary things that I need to help me function. Accident. So I was riding my motorcycle, and it was an insured accident through ICBC. Now, in saying an insured accident doesn't necessarily mean that I feel assurance, because I surely don't. ICBC has not fulfilled my needs very well. So I've been dealing with quite a lot of stress, and stress causes me to have even harder days. You know, it actually took them, I'd say, 4 months before they even came to my door and met me from that company. And even then, it took another little while before I received any assistance from an occupational therapist. So my, what would I call the word? My thoughts on the matter aren't the greatest. When it comes to communication from ICBC, I have to say that's even worse. So far, I've had, I think, 3 different caseworkers or more, and this last caseworker hasn't even talked to me since the first few days in November. And along with that, my doctor has left several messages. My husband has left, maybe a dozen or more. I've left a few myself. And there is no communication, and I was told there would be help for me. Well, I feel like there isn't much for help for me. I feel kind of pushed aside from ICBC. So when it comes to support for people like myself who've dealt with traumatic brain injury, I don't feel there's a whole lot of it. I don't feel like a lot of people really even know what it is. They look at me and they think I'm just like everyone else and I'm fine. And if I say something foolish, which I do a lot because of my brain injury, I'm looked at like I'm strange. I just find that people like me with a traumatic brain injury are looked at in some ways like a person who've had other mental health issues, and I don't have mental health issues. I have a traumatic brain injury, and there's a huge difference. When it comes to resources for people like me, I feel they suffer. There's not a lot of them, and I'm not sure, really, I have trouble for things to come to my mind, for things to occur to me, but I know we need some help. But what it is, I don't know. But it's something that we're not getting. That's a for sure thing. So to meet myself where I'm at, to relearn myself again, has been a challenge for me. And actually it still is, you know. To look at yourself in the mirror and say, hi, you know, this is you. I still really haven't done that entirely. Not really. I try. But often when I see myself, I don't really see myself. I see a part of myself, I guess. Some of the strategies I use to move forward is to say, it's all going to be okay, and talk to myself and say, you can do it. It's all going to be all right. Just keep pushing forward. Stay positive. So self-talk, I guess, would be good words to choose. Some of the greatest joys and things that I'm thankful for, gosh, I don't know. I guess it would be that I'm not alone, that my husband is here with me, and that I have that support. I don't have a whole lot of support from anywhere else, so I can't say that I have that outside of that with my husband. I'm thankful, I guess, for foolishness, like a chair that I love to sit in and a TV I can watch. So I guess there would be some advice to give others suffering traumatic brain injury. To not give up, you know, to keep pushing forward, to not forget that you're still you and you matter. And it's okay to say what you think and how you feel. And if you don't want to be around a crowded room, don't be around a crowded room. If you don't want to eat something that they gave you that you totally don't like, well, don't eat it. Just be yourself. Be kind and respectful as you should be anyway. And keep moving forward. To speak of the primary caregivers and families of those suffering from traumatic brain injury. Trauma is trauma. It's not just for someone like me who suffered the traumatic brain injury. The trauma for the families and the caregivers of those people is probably more severe in some ways. Time, many months went by before I realized myself the trauma was not as strong for me as it was, say, for my husband. Because he was there, he saw it all, and he knows what happened, and he's dealing with it every day. And he had double the things to do. I had half, actually didn't even have any things to do, just live. So the trauma for those people is so severe, so strong. Please don't forget them because they matter so much. I feel that I've went through a journey realizing that life is different for me in not just little ways, but big, major ways. But, we have to accept things in life and come to the understanding that, hey, I'm still here and I'm alive and I'm okay. Yeah. And I thank God for that, because if I never had him watching me, I wouldn't be here. Trust me when I tell you. It's only through the grace of God that I am here. What hopes do I have for the future? Well, I can't say I have any in specific hope per se, other than to, get out in the yard and enjoy the sunshine when the summer comes, and to go for nice road trips and to enjoy the summer hours when I can, and to continue on a forward path in life so that I can make it through in a good positive way until the Lord decides that it's my time to go.